save the Queen. The fascist regime.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the musical ensembles whose internal tensions could largely be attributed to one troublemaker.
All in all, it's just another brick in the wall.
Number 10. Panic at the Disco.
I chime in with a haven't you people ever heard of closing a damn door, no?
These irreverent Vegas pop punks first made a name for themselves in the mid-2000s, putting out witty, biting earworms like the 2006 single, I Write Sins, Not Tragedies. However, it became clear that their steadily rising popularity was going to Brendan Urie's head, and internal disagreements about Panic's musical direction led to guitarist Ryan Ross and bassist John Walker leaving the band in 2009.
'Cause it's 9 in the afternoon, and your eyes are the size of the moon.
Cut to 2015, when new bassist Dallin Weeks' departure left Urie as the band's sole member. Although Urie announced the end of Panic at the Disco in 2023, it would appear that the singer has buried the hatchet with the other members of the band, announcing a reunion in 2024. Number 9. Creed. Whether you love them or hate them, it's undeniable that Florida post-grunge outfit Creed has comfortably staked out their place in rock history. Despite their long track record of commercial success, Creed has broken up and gotten back together several times, with the antics of lead singer Scott Stapp almost always to blame. The band's 2002 tour to promote their Weathered album was completely derailed by Stapp's fondness for intoxicating substances, leading to a number of disastrous shows in which the singer appeared unable to remember his song's lyrics. Another hiatus in 2013 was attributed to a strained relationship between Stapp and the band's other members, but thankfully for Creed fans, the band reformed in 2023. Number 8. Blink-182.
All the small things, true care, truth brings.
Reliable purveyors of crass but catchy hits in the late 90s and early 2000s, Blink-182's core trio of bassist Mark Hoppus, guitarist Tom DeLonge, and drummer Travis Barker has remained largely unchanged over the years. That doesn't mean they haven't experienced their fair share of problems, largely owing to DeLonge's sometimes eccentric and uncooperative behavior.
Say it ain't so, I will not go. Turn the lights off, carry me home.
The guitarist lamented his perceived lack of creative freedom and limited time spent with his family, much to the chagrin of Hoppus and Barker. A 2009 reunion appeared to lay old tensions to rest, but in reality, the opposite was true, and once again, saw DeLonge departing in 2015. Eventually, a cancer scare of Hoppus prompted the three to reconcile once again in 2022.
No, I leave the broken hearted. Oh no, look at the mess we started.
Number 7. The Libertines.
I'll take you anywhere, you can't take me anywhere. I can't take you anywhere, I'll take you anywhere you wanna go.
Some of our viewers in North America may not be familiar with the work of these British indie titans, but rest assured that their story is no less dramatic or juicy than the other bands on our list today. Formed by dual frontmen Carl Barat and Pete Doherty in 1997, the latter's severe substance use disorder proved an insurmountable obstacle for the band.
You can't stop me now. 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 You can't stop me now.
Later, while the band toured in Japan without him, Doherty impulsively burgled Barat's apartment, serving 2 months in prison. Unwilling to let Doherty back into the band until he kicked his various habits, the Libertines split up, but reunited in 2010 for a series of one-off performances before properly reforming in 2014, releasing albums in 2015 and 2024.
You better run, boys, faster than the bars.
Number 6. Nirvana. You probably know Nirvana as the legendary combination of Kurt Cobain, Chris Novoselic, and Dave Grohl. While that's undoubtedly the band's best-known iteration, you may be surprised to learn that Grohl had no hand in contributing to Nirvana's first album, the often overlooked 1989 record, Bleach. Grohl's predecessor, Chad Channing, was the band's drummer from 1988 to 1990, and it's his playing you can hear on Bleach. However, behind the scenes, Cobain and Novoselic clashed with Channing, dissatisfied with his skill level and unwilling to embrace his songwriting efforts. Channing left the band in 1990 and was replaced by Grohl the following September. The rest, of course, history. Number 5. The Eagles.
One of these nights, one of these crazy old nights.
Although you might not know it from their mellow, laid-back sound, the Eagles have had some of the most tumultuous inner workings of any rock band ever. A classic case of warring egos among big, uncompromising personalities, these kings of soft rock dealt with internal strife and conflict on a seemingly constant basis.
All alone at the end of the evening.
However, founding member and bassist Randy Meisner caused possibly the band's biggest blow-up in 1977. As a result of chronic medical conditions, Meisner increasingly retreated from performing Take It to the Limit, citing an inability to hit that song's required high notes. The rest of the Eagles eventually grew frustrated with Meisner, and a physical altercation between him and Glenn Frey led to Meisner's dismissal.
And take it to the limit one more time.
Number 4. Sex Pistols.
God save the Queen! The fascist regime!
Their songs Anarchy in the UK and God Save the Queen, among others, were a rally cry to a generation of British youth, encouraging them to challenge society's preconceived notions and rebuke the ruling class. In 1977, the godfathers of punk rock made the fateful decision to replace bassist Glenn Matlock with Simon Sid Vicious Ritchie, a friend of lead singer Johnny Rotten. Eventually, Vicious's reputation for violent, destructive behavior became a major point of contention within the band, as well as his escalating substance use disorder. It became too much for the band to bear, and they broke up in 1978. Vicious died of an overdose in 1979 while waiting to go to trial for the murder of his girlfriend, Nancy Spungen.
At the height of his brief career, he was one of the kings of punk. In America, punk rock died sometime before him. Sid Vicious was 21.
Number 3. Fleetwood Mac.
Now there you go again, you say you want your freedom.
If you're at all familiar with the lore behind this iconic group, you'll know that their personal relationships and even professional relationships play an integral role in their songwriting process. In particular, Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks' interpersonal struggles were a major source of conflict and led to years of tense buildup between Buckingham and the rest of the band, who felt Buckingham regarded himself as the group's creative center. These tensions came to a head in 1987 when a physical confrontation between Nicks and Buckingham led to the latter abruptly leaving Fleetwood Mac. Although they would all occasionally reunite for one-off performances and tours until the 2022 death of Christine McVie. Number 2. Pink Floyd.
Get
they changed the sound of rock music forever and arguably carried the baton passed on by the Beatles in terms of opening up the recording studio as a creative instrument in itself. Unfortunately, they weren't able to open up to each other. Drummer Nick Mason once referred to the band's communication skills as being troublingly non-existent.
All in all, it's just another brick in the wall.
It depends on who you ask, but it seems that the band members took particular issue with Roger Waters' increasing desire to focus on solo projects. A dramatic 1984 blow-up led to Waters leaving the band, claiming that he had been forced out under legal duress. The members of Pink Floyd have since reunited on and off over the years, although Gilmour and Waters have often publicly feuded.
Money, it's a gas.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Beatles.
I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand.
Yeah, there's a chance you've heard of these guys. The best-selling musical act of all time, it's hard to find anyone who doesn't love John, George, Paul, and Pete. Wait, who's Pete, you might ask? Before the legendary Ringo Starr came around, the Fab Four had recruited drummer Pete Best. Hired in 1960, Best was unceremoniously fired in 1962 and replaced by Starr, completing the band's most beloved incarnation.
It's nothing personal, Pete. We're just in a different phase now, and you heard what George Martin said.
Whoa. Brian, what are you saying? I'm the beat in the Beatles. I mean, it's my sound.
The reasons for Best's dismissal are largely attributed to not only Starr's superior musical abilities, but personality clashes between Best and the rest of the Beatles. Said Paul McCartney years later, Pete was slightly different from us. He wasn't quite as artsy as we were.
Were you angry at them? Mad at them?
No, just in a part, Dave. They caused me a lot of hardship, grief, financial embarrassment. But I persevered with my own lifestyle. And, I was strong enough in character to sort of turn around and say, okay, no matter what happened in the past, let's forget about it. Okay.
Are there any rogue members of your favorite bands that we missed? Be sure to let us know in the comments below. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.